Hi, and welcome to Has God Heard From You today. We're excited right now, Miss Layton. This is Dolores Layton, and we're excited because we finally got a chance to connect.
Yes.
It's been a while. You all, this is Dolores Layton, and your book, Stuck City.
Yes.
I can't wait until you tell us about Stuck City, and do not let me forget to make sure you tell them where they can get this book from.
I will.
And you have two.
Yes.
You ready to tell us about them?
Yes.
First of all, you all, we have been trying to connect since last year sometime, but everything is in God's timing. And you know, Has God Heard From You today? It's about spreading the focus of seeking God more, talking to God more, listening. And if I always said at the end of the program, if you're not spending time with God, you're too busy, this is a good time to say it right now. I don't know her story, but I'm ready to hear it. And we're going to have her mother come on, that beautiful lady. I was just told her age. We're not going to tell her age, but just know she ages very well.
Yes.
And you called your godmother?
My church mother.
Your church mother.
Yes.
So it's going to be Sister Cochran and Sister Smith
Yes.
that we're going to have on. So stay tuned, because God has blessed you to write 2 books. Tell us about it.
My journey started in '83 when I was introduced to rock cocaine. Later I got married, and I was having trouble in my marriage, and I turned to rock cocaine.
Okay.
And it led me to Skid Row.
And just for those who don't know what Skid Row is, you remember
Yes.
we was on the phone?
Yes.
And all of this time I thought Skid Row, and I'm not ashamed to say it,
Yes.
I thought it was you were on all this time before we connected for months, 2 or 3 months. I thought Skid Row meant she was on death row.
Yes.
And she started laughing. She said, no, that's not what Skid Row means. So for those who thinking like, oh, Skid Row, we don't want them to think you on death row. No. So tell them what Skid Row means.
Skid Row is a community of homeless people or living homeless, and they're just living on the street and hustling on the street, sleeping on the street.
You are a true person that look at you now. If you didn't tell that story to encourage someone, nobody would ever know. I want to know how you came off of Skid Row and then ended up with Stuck City. The name of this book is something.
Yes. I went to Skid Row, was downtown Los Angeles, and I went down there for a drug program. And actually, I didn't have a plan B if things didn't work out. I got into a fight with a young lady in the program, and we both were kicked out. So now, while packing, I had already made up my mind. I said, I'm not going home. And the lady had told me, she said, now you can come back in she said in 90 days. So when I was packing, I said, well, I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do for 90 days, because I wasn't going home. I got on the street and looked both ways. I didn't know which way to start walking.
Yes.
And every street was the same, full of people. And it's amazing because on every street it was the same thing going on. I had people I seen people on their knees shooting dice, fighting, smoking dope, sleep on the sidewalk, laying up against the walls, eating. And I was saying, wow, what is this? Yeah. Practically all my life, I lived in Compton, California, or in the LA area. And I never knew that Skid Row, this is what Skid Row was. Okay. So I was scared. Yes. And every street I walked on was the same thing. And I finally got to a street where there wasn't that many people, and I was going to stop and rest, and I had this girl to come over to me, and she said, where you come from? Calling me out my name. And she walked up to me and she said, "Who are you and what you doing over here, so-and-so? I know you don't want to take my money."
Oh, okay.
I had no idea I was on the whole stroke.
Okay.
I said, "Oh my God." So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then after that little incident,
Yeah.
I just kind of got curious. And then I started challenging myself.
Okay.
So, life just said different. I thought I was going to do the program, finish, and get back to my babies. But I ended up getting caught up.
Yeah.
I got caught up. And then in the midst of me waiting the 3 months to get back into the program, I ended up with another addiction,
Okay.
which was street life.
Okay.
Because now I'm interested and I'm curious and challenging myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I grew tired. I started fearing for my life because of the incidents that was happening to me.
That you're seeing, yes.
Yes. And I thought I could do it myself. I had no idea. I had no plan. But I realized that I needed the Lord.
Yeah. Oh.
I fell to my knees.
Yeah.
I told him I was sorry. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
But if he got me back home, I promise I'll do whatever he asks of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You came to him.
And I did. I had to. I had to. And when I got back, I remember joining Praise Temple.
Bishop Larry Brandon.
Yes. But I was under Beryl Cawthorn.
Oh, okay.
At
that time? Okay.
Yeah, at that time in Bossier City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she was, wow, she was so good to me. It's funny because when in the process of writing this book,
Yeah.
she came to me one day and she said, "Mother Layton," she said, "you're going to have to go back downtown, Skid Road."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, no."
Yeah.
She said, "Why?" I said, "Why?" She said, "Because you need to see what the Lord has brought you from." I said, "Pastor, see, I already know." She said, "No, you need to see it."
Yes. In other words, she wants you to see where you come from.
Yes. And she was absolutely right.
My Lord.
I went and, wow.
So you went back to...
I went back. The smell, just looking at it, and I said, "God, that was me. I was in this."
Yes.
So.
Yeah. And he brought you out.
And he brought me
Just
out.
like he'll bring you out. The young lady we prayed for today.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, we
Yes.
praise and we so it's okay. I mean,
Yes.
you're glad where you came from. You turn to the only one who can bring you out.
Help me.
And we want you to know that she's given you some of her story.
Yes.
Then she went back to look
On
at
where
where
he brought me from. Yeah. And I was mad at God, because I was going through a bad time in my marriage, and I would pray, and it seemed like nothing happen. I said, I just have to do this myself. But look where it got me, the Skid Road.
Yeah.
Got me in a bad place, but he brought me out. That's okay.
He'll never leave us nor forsake us, you all.
Yes.
No matter where we are, you're looking at this beautiful lady. It was good for you to go back and see at that time. You just felt the need to do that, with the help of someone who said, I wonder why she just wanted you to see that. But it's just to let you know what God can do.
It showed me how blessed I was.
How he kept you in the midst of all
that. Because there was so many that didn't come out. Yeah. So many that died on the street, or either after they got clean, then they died with illness,
Yes.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sister Dolores.
Yes.
Tell them how, and I pray this lady is watching that called me, and I'm just going to say 19. So if that's you, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. 19 years. If that relate to you, you need to connect with Sister Layton.
Yes.
I think we're going to have to take a break. Tell them how they can reach you to get your books.
Okay. The first book is Stuck City, and you can get it on Amazon. But the second book, you have to go through a number. It's a number you can. It's a contact number.
Hold on, we get a pencil and paper. We'll be right back. What a blessing. Wow.
Why?
Welcome back, and we're going to get right back to Dolores Layton. Tell them the name of your book.
The second book is Stuck City Untold Stories, and there's a contact number which is 318-518-7160.
Give it to them again.
318-518-7160.
And this one is on Amazon.
And that's Stuck City, the first book. You can't read the second one unless you read the first book. So the first one, the second one is the continuing of the first one. And you can get it on Amazon by E.D. Layton.
Listen, if you just tuning in, Miss Layton is telling you about how God brought her through. And you heard me mention a lady that we prayed for today. She shared what she called and said something about 19 years. And I say that I won't call her name, but we wanted her to know that if God did it,
He'll do it again.
Say it again.
If He did it once, He'll do it again.
You remember that, young lady. Miss Layton.
Yes.
Tell us how the Lord led you to write these books. Stuck City. How did you come up with the name Stuck City?
You know, I made a comment once when I was on Skid Row, not even thinking about writing a book, but I remember saying, Lord, if I ever had to write a book, it'd be Stuck City. And I was just talking.
Didn't even know what you
Didn't even
said.
know what I was saying. But when I got home, my niece, I was sitting down there talking to her about Skid Row. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, Auntie, she said, you have a story to tell. She said, you need to write a book. And then when she said that, my two daughters, they like pushed me on. So they gave me the inspiration to keep writing.
Yeah. You want to say your daughters' names?
First Lady Laquita Senegal. And my middle daughter is Raquel Lee Cooksey, and my baby is Erica Oliver.
Your mom is blessing some people right now. I know that you're a blessing to me because the thing is first, let me tell you about when you said Stuck City.
Yes.
Has God heard from you today? And I've told them before, it came from a bill collector that was getting on my nerves back in the 80s. And I remember hanging up the phone saying, I know God has not heard from you today. And the Spirit said, write that down. That was back in the 80s. Wow. So you said something about Stuck City, not knowing it's going to be a book.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
was going to take place.
From a person getting on my nerves about something.
Right.
And when it was time, in 2007, the Lord brought that question back to me. Has God heard from you today?
Yes.
And it's 2018, and we're doing TV with it, you know?
Awesome.
You never know. So pay attention to what you're saying, to what you're hearing, because you never know. Now let's get back to you, Miss Layton.
Okay.
God brought you all the way.
Skid Row.
Encourage someone who's down right now, thinking they can't get through. They can't. That, as one person said, God can't use me. Yes, He can.
Yes, He can. He can.
Tell him.
All I can say is give Him a try.
Oh.
Try Him.
Oh.
Just try Him.
Because He know the plan. He knew while you were there. On Skid Row.
Yes, He's the best fixer. He can do all. So, you know, when we can't do and we try to do it on our own, can't do it. But if we go to him and trust that he will do it, and we have to go with a sincere heart and be ready.
Yes.
Just get ready.
Yes.
It'll happen.
And I'm telling you all, you once you do what she said, give it to him, he will guide your steps. The thing is, and now I'm talking about me, waiting for me is the hardest part, still to this day.
Yes.
Waiting.
Yes.
And I should have learned by now, but it's still hard.
It is.
You know, the waiting. But if we think about it, how many people in the Bible had to wait?
Ooh.
You know what I'm
Jesus.
saying? If we think about it.
Yes.
And I had nerves to say one time when Noah was building that ark, and I've heard I think they said it took him 100 and something years or 100 years. I said, that's depressing.
Ooh, Lord.
But look what happened.
Yeah.
Look what happened.
Oh, yes.
You know, and thank God we don't have to wait that long. But back to you. Your journey.
Yes, it was a journey.
Look what God can do, you all. The books, are they about your journey?
Yes. It tells how I got on Skid Row, how it all started, and how I fell to my knees to get off a Skid Row.
Fell to your
And I
knees.
surrendered. Yes,
You humbled yourself.
I had to. Yeah, I surrendered.
God Almighty. You said this was in Los Angeles?
California, yes.
I would like to ask you a question.
Okay.
You saw a lot of things. You
Yes.
said when you started walking the street.
Yes.
Were there young people out there?
Oh, my God. There was young and old, every age. Every age and every national. Yeah.
Yes. Lord. And the part, come on, you was going to say something?
The thing of it is, the old, those were truly the homeless, you know? That had to sleep on the street, that did for some reason wouldn't go to the shelters. They had shelters, you know. I had a problem with that too. So, but it was mainly the ones that would sleep on the street. It was a lot of old people, but they were young also. But they had tents. They had set up their own little homes, and they lived on the street, and they had got comfortable. They got used to it, so they didn't think outside of anything else beyond their situation.
Understood, meaning they're there and this is my life.
And this is the way it is.
And that's a message for someone else, meaning no matter what situation you are in,
Yes.
you're looking at, you don't have to settle for that.
True.
Turn to God. Do the word you said, and we're going to keep saying that. You surrendered. You humbled yourself.
Yes.
You all, sometimes, you know, I say as simple as saying, Father, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't expect you to know what to do. But if you give it to him, what will he do for you?
He'll bring you on.
He'll bring you on.
He'll bring you on.
Tell him again where to get these books.
Okay, Stuck City. You can get it on Amazon. E.D. Layton. The second book is Stuck City Untold Stories, and the contact number is 318-518-7160.
Okay, I have a question for you again.
Okay.
How long did your Stuck City journey last? How long did, you know, you don't have to go into it, but, and I'm saying that for someone who might be watching saying, I've been this way so long. It doesn't even matter, you all. That's what I want you to understand. It doesn't matter how long. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're
You
right.
know.
You're right. I was on. Actually, there was a misprint in the book. It says 17 years. Actually, I was on there 16 years. 16.
Let's see, you're gonna make me cry.
Oh, don't cry.
But look what he did.
Yes, Lord.
Look
he
what he
did
did.
it. He did it.
He'll do the same for you. That's what she wants to tell you. Now I know why it took so long for us to get together. See, somebody is watching this program right now
I
that
pray.
they
need
are,
to
because
hear
it's
it.
his timing.
Yes,
It's God's
you're
timing.
so right.
And see, when we err, he knows when we should air this, you know.
Okay.
Now, you said you were originally from Los Angeles? Or are you originally from where?
You know, that's I was born here in Homer, Louisiana, but we left. My mother, we left and moved to California when I was 6 months. So most of my time I was in Compton, California. That's why I signed it straight out of Compton.
You put up that,
I
so
put
you
it
did,
straight out
so
of
that
Compton. I don't know if
movie,
I put it on yours, but I sure did.
that movie is when they say straight out of Compton.
Straight
I've
out of
never
Compton.
watched that movie, but you were straight out of Compton.
Yes.
Look, you all, we're gonna take a break. Right now, my heart is just filled with joy to know what our Father can do. Jesus died, you all, for us so that we could,
Glorify
I'm going to put it
his
like this.
name.
Yeah.
Live and glorify him.
Yeah. Our sins are forgiven. We can just ask him, forgive us, Lord. Make us new.
Yes.
He did that for you.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Girl. I'm Deborah with Has God Heard From You Today? I'm spreading the focus of seeking God more, talking to God more, and listening.
God didn't stop performing miracles.
Come on.
The biblical days is still here. People stop believing.
So join us right here, Sundays, 3:30 p.m. We're encouraging others with our testimonies. If you have a testimony and you're not ashamed to tell it, call me. Has God heard from you today? Welcome back, and I'm holding in my hand Stuck City. It says a woman's struggle from the streets of Los Angeles, from Skid Row to being a church mother now. As my sister says, and my niece, won't he do it? Bree?
Yes, he will.
Brianna, won't he do it? This says Occupy Skid Row. Wow. And this one is Stuck City, The Untold Stories by E. Dolores Layton. If you're just tuning in, if you called someone, and we're going to upload it on YouTube, this young lady said she was on Skid Row, and I didn't know what Skid Row meant. So Skid Row meant homeless.
Homeless.
And she's seen a lot of things.
Oh, yes.
So, Miss Layton, I want you to look in, I think it's this camera right here. There are a lot of young people. Some are disobedient. Some think, oh, I can't wait to get out of the house because they don't want the parents to tell them anything.
Right.
There are a lot of good kids.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who just think mom is being hard and you want to get out on your own, there's really, now I have to say this is what's putting in my spirit. There are some abusive situations. There are places like that. This is not her case, but there are some abusive situations with children. We saw a little boy yesterday. Our heart went out to the mother being very ugly to the little boy, snatching him, and my sister said, I know his arm is out of socket.
Oh, wow.
You know, a little boy.
Yeah.
Regardless of what that little boy did.
Mm-hmm. That was too much.
Jerking, yes.
Too much.
And now people don't care that you see it. They don't. And my sister and I prayed for that little boy. Lord, we don't know the situation. But I want you to look in that for some young ladies and some young men right now who just want to be disobedient in school, and you don't want the life you had to use. And that's all your parents are trying to help you with. Tell them that about the life they don't want.
The life you don't want is when your parents are putting you out and you don't have anywhere to go because you're being disobedient. And you end up in a place you don't want to be, which is Skid Row, or just on the street, period, where people really will abuse you.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you end up on drugs or doing things someone else wants you to do and not being yourself, not being loved.
You don't want that kind of love.
You don't want that kind.
And what would you say the youngest age of a person that you saw on the street?
I would say 16.
My Lord.
16.
My Lord. My Lord.
That I've seen. That it could have been some younger, but I say 16 for me.
And people think you are on their territory, like you say, the young lady that said to you, "What are you?" They think they own the street.
Yes.
So you're not coming into a happy situation.
And that was the sad part about it, because I didn't know. I didn't have that street knowledge. But as I went on, I got it. But I still didn't act ugly like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You'll learn, as you go, you'll learn the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. And
that's no way to want to live, and you have to watch your back.
You do, and you have to learn the people you're dealing with. And I learned them by listening to their conversations.
Lord.
You know?
Yeah. We want you left with the fact that God used her. She humbled herself and said, and you humbled yourself on your knees.
Oh, yes,
and you
did.
said what to him?
To forgive me. I was sorry. I didn't want to die out here. And if he got me home, I would do anything that he asked of me.
And look what came as a result of God using Miss Layton. Her journey of Skid Row, and correct me if I'm wrong, lasted about 16 years.
Yes.
But look what God did when she said, "Father, I'm
Yes,
sorry."
Lord.
That's a good way for us to end on. Give them the phone number again.
The number is 318-518-7160.
You all, we will be back on another segment with some of her support team.
Yes.
You all, if you're not spending time with God, you're too busy.
Yes,
We'll see you
Lord.
next week. Thank you, Miss Layton.
Thank you.
This has been a beautiful story.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week. Wow. Awesome, awesome. We're not here to tell you that going through is easy. We're here to tell you that if you believe in God and you have accepted Jesus as your personal Savior, then you have His word, you have His promise that He will never leave you nor forsake you. Has God heard from you today?
If you would like to share your testimony or advertise your business or an upcoming event on this program, please call 318-222-2954. Also, visit our website at www.hasgodheardfromyoutoday.org.
Talking to God more and listening.
God didn't stop performing miracles.
Come on.
The biblical days is still here. People stop believing.
So join us right here, Sundays, 3:30 p.m. We're encouraging others with our testimonies. If you have a testimony and you're not ashamed to tell it, call me. Has God heard from you today?